Oh, and okay, let's get to before we go to the show closing.
Go out and get laid.
Go out and get laid. Fuck. Before we get to somebody else who has fucked a lot of people but not necessarily got laid, Star Maker Bolin, I want to bring up last week we announced a contest. It was a rib on me because I got hundreds of these things. Email me on, and I'm not trying to make light, but I said email me on what do you think Donald Trump's going to fuck up next, right? And holy shit, I was scrambling this morning trying to get just a couple of things together. There's been so many, and I've tried to read everything. And I'll be honest with you, some of them I cannot read because they're not just emails, they're essays, they're college theses. They're so well thought out, and they're just so lengthy, but they're intelligent and thought provoking. But unless I read the whole thing on the air, it doesn't really carry the weight. And be quiet, I read one of them to myself just to time myself, and it was like 11 minutes. And I've got some excerpts, but please, if you feel like it, keep them coming because it's been therapeutic to some people. And I've got one, we're long on time today, but next week I'm going to read one from the opposing viewpoint. It's really good. But most of them, here's the gist of it. Most people writing think that Trump's first major fuck up will center around one of these several things. Either the cabinet he appoints, the Supreme Court that he appoints, health care, potential war with anybody, or bullshit promises. And I got to take the bullshit promises out of it because I don't think that's going to be a fuck up because he's not going to build a wall. And we know that, but he's going to figure out a way. He told him bullshit before. Now he'll just lie about why it's better that he doesn't. And we know he's not going to deport millions and millions of people, but he's going to come up with a reason to say why it's better that he doesn't, and here's what I'm doing about it, and they're going to believe it because they believed all the other shit. And so all the stuff that he said that he was going to do, the infrastructure thing, I could already see he's going to blame the Democrats who don't have power to pull a greasy string out of a cat's ass in government these days. He's going to figure out a way to blame them, or he'll blame the establishment Republicans that won't spend the money to pay for it like they wouldn't when Obama pitched it 8 years ago. But so any of his bullshit promises, he's going to get out of. It's not going to be considered a major fuck up. We know that's coming, and we know that he's going to weasel his way out of it because people will believe him when he lies. So cabinet, Supreme Court, healthcare, and potential war is what's leading. And first one, real quick, a guy from Cleveland, Jeff, was as shocked and dismayed as anyone Tuesday night, literally got a little sick, nauseous. I think Trump's first and biggest thing that he fucks up is not fulfilling all his promises. and this one is one I didn't mention. I have friends and coworkers that voted for Trump mainly on the fact that he was going to lock that bitch up. That's another one. He's not going to lock Hillary Clinton up. He just fucking shook hands with Barack Obama, told him what an honor it was to spend time with him, and he was a great man. He's going to do this. He'll be out there, goddamn, sucking on one of Hillary's tits in 2 months. He don't give a shit now. He just said that to fool the rubes. So Hillary ain't going to jail. That's not a fuck up. Rick, I will not read last names just in case people. This is the big one. Donald Trump's first fuck up will surely be his appointments to his cabinet. I read recently they're considering Sarah Palin for Secretary of the Interior. That did get floated. Mainstream media isn't even mentioning the basket of deplorables that will make up our executive branch. Actually, the mainstream media that I've been watching has been talking about it. Forget Chris Christie, Rudy Giuliani, Newt Gingrich. You can look up each of their histories and discover how terrible they are. Do they think he won't give his first and second campaign managers, Corey Lewandowski and Paul Manafort, positions? What about his campaign CEO, Steve Bannon, the fucking chairman of Breitbart, the batshit crazy radical right-wing propaganda machine? He may even give Sean Hannity a job. Rick continues to say, that sounds pretty disturbing. But remember, his campaign said they were going to appoint people who were loyal over people who are qualified. There's two Trump groupies that many people won't know, and the rest of America needs to take the time to look these two nut jobs up, and he's talking about Roger Stone and Alex Jones. Basically, I think that is going to be the biggest fuck up. Is not I don't think he's going to have time to get us into a war or time to crash the economy. And everybody, oh, it's doing fine now. Well, yeah, that's because they figured out he's going to take off all the regulations on Wall Street and businesses and cut fucking taxes for the billionaires. That's why stocks are going up. See if it improves your bottom line any. It's going to be the cabinet, the Supreme Court, because he's trying to get his kids security clearances. Wouldn't you know who won the pony? Those two fucking nitwits and the fucking supermodel daughter. The people running the country are going to be the most draconian, right-wing, conservative, whack job, religious nuts, establishment Republicans. They're going to set not only human rights, but also the rights of the planet, the climate change deniers. In 4 years, if we elect the Bernie Sanders, he may not be able to fucking replicate, or not replicate, but rectify all this. Linda McMahon for Commerce Secretary. She sounds like the normal one. What the fuck? Anyway, who's your favorite of the new? You're a Giuliani fan, aren't you? You think that he's the worst one of the bunch? Yeah.
I hate him almost as much as his daughter does. No, I can't stand Giuliani. I think he's a fucking corrupt idiot. He has benefited so much on everything that's gone wrong with this country. If you look into his background and his business dealings, and everyone talks about 9/11 and how brave he was on 9/11. He was America's mayor. You should ask people in New York what we thought of him on 9/10. And you'll probably get a really good idea of why Giuliani has no credibility up here amongst most people, amongst Republicans. Everyone realizes, and he's lost his fucking mind this year. He's just completely unhinged now. And there are now even whispers that the Trump campaign's upset with him because he's actively campaigning in public to be the Secretary of State, a job he is wildly unqualified for. I don't know. Look, it all comes down to the same thing I said last week. I didn't want Trump to win. I thought he campaigned in a repulsive manner, but he won. I'm going to sit back and watch for a little while and see what happens, because at the end of the day, while I thought what he did was repulsive, I think he's a worker, and I think it may be a 24/7 work, so that I don't know what the real Trump is. I don't know. He's already walked back everything. He's walking back. He's going to keep elements of Obamacare. Hillary's not going to be, looked into. He's made up with the president. He realizes the weight of the position, and he's walking things back. All the promises he could never fulfill, he's walking back. I want to see how this works. Obama said it really well. He's not an ideologue. He's pragmatic.
Well, so that's why I say he's going to be able to bullshit his way out of everything that he promised he doesn't do, because it's impossible, or he just doesn't do it. But they're just now beginning to report that he's all of a sudden found out that, this job's harder than I thought it was going to be. He doesn't know what he doesn't know. He doesn't know how this shit works. And all the people that he's appointing to senior positions either have Reince Priebus. If you take all the vowels out, it's RNC PRBS. It is. Look it up. He doesn't have any experience as an elected official or in actual state government, much less any other kind of government. The Republican National Committee is no form of government. All the people that he's appointing to be his senior people are either his fucking kids, George Goulas, here we go, Nick would have made his son George Attorney General, or they're so out of the political mainstream, Steve Bannon, that it's going to be literally the blind leading all the rest of us.